Alright, so what is rule number one of marketing? Well, don't try to sell something that you would never buy, and don't try to buy something that you would never sell. I.e., if you've never invested $1,500 in yourself, don't try to sell a package for $1,500. That's plain and simple, because you don't understand how the customer feels when they're buying that package. You can't position yourself as someone who can relate to that emotionally, right? Because as you know, people will buy emotionally than justify rationally. So if you have never experienced the emotion of actually buying that thing, how can you expect to go out there and sell it? So many people are trying to target the vegan niche, but aren't vegans themselves. So how do you understand their struggles, how they interact, their dynamics, and how they move in your environment, right? I'm not talking about them as objects. I'm just saying, if you want to sell something online, you need to immerse yourself in the person you are serving, in the type of person you're serving. So if you're targeting vegans per se, instead of just asking them and trying to say, oh, let me just sell this t-shirt for vegans, right? You may make a short-term profit, and a lot of people are doing it. Drop shipping, print on demand, stuff like that, and you might last for 3 months. But in long term, you're never going to create a brand. And as you know, the money is that in the lifetime value of a customer, not acquiring a customer. Because if you look on Facebook, it takes about $20 on average to acquire a customer. Sometimes $10, but it depends, but you're not making profits. The profits is when the customer likes what you're doing because you've solved an emotional trigger within them, which they want to come and back again, and which is a true exchange of value. You're not taking advantage of them, and they're not taking advantage of you. You're just delivering a value that they cannot get them by themselves, right? So when it comes to vegans, for example, how exactly you position yourself in a way which you can solve that emotional struggle, which makes them buy, which is the catalyst of them buying. Well, first of all, you can understand that there are 7% vegans probably in North America. I'm talking US, Mexico. I'm not sure about Mexico, but I know US and Canada. We're like 1.6 million, not billion yet, one day. You gotta understand that there's not a lot of vegans, right? A big struggle is dystopia, where the anguish of being vegan in a non-being world is very, very present, right? You know, no vegans unless you go to vegan events, to the point where you kind of feel isolated and your values are put in question constantly, right? So you need to understand that's a struggle, right? So you could kind of do a mentorship program where you do consultation with vegans, 30-minute consultations where you actually help them overcome that struggle because they're able to talk to other vegans, right? There's different ways to do it. One way I've positioned my rings, for example, my vegan rings, is I said, hey, it's very hard to identify a vegan, let alone the fact that there aren't many vegans out there. So what if we could have an universal token or branding which made our vegans apart? Like, if you know the wedding ring that we put on the fourth finger over here that identifies us as people who are married, why not have a vegan ring on our pinky to identify ourselves as vegans per se? So when you see someone that has that ring, which is subtle, you don't always have to, because many vegans don't like to show off their big vegan shirts, right? Because sometimes it's socially not unacceptable, but you get what I mean. Well, a vegan ring is very subtle, and you'll perceive it in other people, and then once you see that, it's instant rapport, right? As you know, when you meet a vegan, you're like, hey, my boy, my girl, right? So that's what I invite you to do. Go immerse yourself. Instead of asking them like, hey, how can I serve you? Because if you understand the biological programming of people, they don't know necessarily what they want. They're a lot better at telling you what they don't want, right? Because behaviors, natural selection has made so that though we do move towards pleasure and move away from pain, we're a lot more prone to move away from pain than to move towards pleasure, right? Because pain will kill us. Pleasure is a commodity, right? When you look at our ancestors, cavemans, of course I'm exaggerating, but you get the premise of it, right? Pain means death. Pleasure means commodity, right? In a sense, I'm exaggerating it to make a point. The case in point is that you need to immerse yourself, understand what they are doing, what their behaviors are telling about themselves, right? What are they trying to do with these behaviors, and what is stopping them from taking action? What is stopping them from stopping these behaviors from reaping the fruits of their labor, from actually getting pleasure, right? Because people are not moving towards something, they want to move away from something, right? So what are you helping them move away? Think of, you're not selling a drill, you're selling the hole, right? So what is the hole they need fulfilled? Do they need more social interaction, right? As vegans, dystopia. So you can give them a token which allows them to see more vegans, i.e. more social interaction. You could create a whole crypto database, I don't know, man, where vegans can exchange, like a new vegan Facebook, for example. I'm just saying, these are pain points that I experience myself as a vegan, or experienced myself in the past, since right now I see a lot of vegans more and more because I went to vegan events. All to say that you need to immerse yourself in your customer's position. Put yourself in their shoes before you ever